Hello, everyone. We're here for another catch up with Mayo get together where I get to check in with my viewers and they get to check in with me. And I'm really happy to be doing this. I really look forward to this. I love the fact that people like to come here and I like being with you guys. So let's do this. At the top, for anybody that's here now already, I'm going to say that something I'm probably going to have to repeat during the live stream and maybe at the end if I remember. And that's that starting after this show, I'm going to have to rotate the times I do the show. I'm going to be doing some of these shows Sunday mornings, not every Sunday morning, but I know that coming up, not tomorrow, but starting with September 10th, and September 17th, two in a row. Two in a row, September 10 and September 17, I'll be doing the show. I'll be doing it at 9:30 a.m. roughly. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's very early, and I hope that'll be good for some of you. Let me know. But they're not all going to be like that. There'll be other times where I'll be back to Saturday at about 4 o'clock or 4:30 Eastern, like this. So it'll go back and forth, but the next show will be September the 10th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. All right. So let's get started here. We got a lot of people here. Woodland Goblin and Henry Lemoyne were the first two here. Hello, guys. I know you guys are always right on it. Hold on a minute. I got some messages beeping. Forget it. Hi, James. But I need the James left a comment. James Peterson, but it's not complete. You have to like send me the complete message. Hi, Nicholas. Hello, Christopher 628. JL Draw. Hello. It says here something seems to be in the works at Apple with their archive of Beatle films, which includes Help, Magical Mystery Tour, Yellow Submarine, the first U.S. visit, and Let It Be. We'll see. This is the first I'm hearing it, but it would be nice to find out more. Not sure as to the details yet, but speculation is that perhaps a deal with Disney Plus could be in the work to make these films available for streaming. I'm not happy about that. If that's the truth, I am most definitely not happy about that. I mean, I guess you could say, well, Disney Plus, if they're streaming it, that would mean that a lot more people who don't really like the Beatles already, maybe younger people who have Disney, will get introduced to the Beatles. That's one plus out of it. One positive out of it, but a lot of times with streaming, they don't put stuff out anymore on physical media, and I'm not crazy about that, as you probably know. You know, hello, Beetle Bites. Okay, let's see. Hello, Scarred God. Can we have our Sunday morning prayer? You do that on your own time. I pray on my time. Yes, I do. Most certainly do. Ah, wasted away in Mayoville. I'm guessing that's recognition of reminds me of Jimmy Buffett's passing. I wasn't a Jimmy Buffett fan. I didn't dislike Jimmy Buffett. I always say that I don't consider myself a fan at all. But you know, I just didn't listen really. Hello to Rory out there. Okay, let's see. Here it is. James Peterson. Hi, Joe. I heard on the Beatles podcast this week. The people that own the publishing rights to George Harrison songs, are we showing the whole catalog? I'm not sure what you're referencing, though, James, except for the idea that, as I understand it, the entire catalog is going on Dark Horse. It's not going to, it goes from the Apple thing to Dark Horse label. Um, I didn't make a formal video about it recently. I did make one several months ago because this was already talked about several months ago, and I did do a video about that at the time. But now I didn't bother again because you want to know the truth? Who cares? Because it's really, really lackluster news from the Harrison estate. With all the things they should be doing and giving us, just off the top of my head, how about a 50th anniversary deluxe set for living in the material world? How about that? You know, I don't really care that they're going to put George's catalog out yet again when they just did it. I don't know if it was 2017 or whenever they did it. And the difference is now it's all on the Dark Horse label. Ooh, please take me to the emergency room. We're going to have a heart attack. How wonderful. How exciting. No, thank you. I mean, really. But, hey, the year is not over yet. We're still expecting a bunch of announcements from all kinds of things, solo projects, Beatles projects. Let's see what's going to happen. So okay, the first U.S. visit is scheduled for a relaunch with additional footage next year to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the British invasion. Now, I had heard something about that, and I'll tell you, that is for me personally, that's something that I would like to see. That's something that I would get excited about personally. I think that would be really a lot of fun to see even more footage of them when they first arrived in America. So that's exciting. Hello to Elvin. Hello, hello. Let It Be could be on its way sooner than later. The film was restored alongside Peter Jackson's Get Back documentary, and work has been recently performed on the soundtrack. From your lips to Apple's ears. Hello to George, music for all four seasons. Hello, Alan. I was not a Jimmy Buffett fan, but, I acknowledge his passing. More talk about Let It Be. Right. Work has been performed on the Let It Be soundtrack by Giles Martin and Paul Hicks using Peter Jackson's MAL technology. The content of the film is said to be identical to the original 1970 release, which is good to hear. And I'm glad to hear they're working on it. The quality, probably audio and visual. More information about Let It Be coming out, quite possibly. Again, I'm not making any confirmations here. I'm just going by hints that JL Draw is throwing out here, although it will contain a feature of Peter Jackson and Michael Lindsay Hogg discussing the film. This remaster was just recently filed for copyright. That's interesting. That's good news. In the interest of fairness, I'm going to put this up. JL Draw, I hope you don't mind. Marcus says, not that you aren't credible, but didn't you say a few weeks ago that solo Beatles releases are going to be announced like 2 weeks ago? I mean, I see I'm in a position here, folks. No offense to Marcus, no offense to JL Draw, but I'm here and I want to make everybody happy. Put their comments up. I don't want to offend anybody with it, but I don't know. Um, the announcement was delayed. Well, we'd heard that it was delayed because of not to bump heads with the Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift news. But then later on, it was said that it's not really anything to do with Taylor Swift. So I have no idea. But the red and the blue are still coming in the fourth quarter. That's what how I understand it too. So yes, we did discuss this already, Martin. Did I hear when Paul discussing John George Reno giving him $1 million for the override? I don't read. When it comes to override, I don't know about who giving what, the money exchanged or anything like that. All I know is, and I learned this quite frankly from a show on Two Legs with Andy Nichols and Tom Mignotti, that 1979 Paul got an override, as they call it, that he was actually making more money than the others were in 1979. But as I understand it, and I could be wrong about this, but the way I understand that, it wasn't that Paul was necessarily doing anything devious or anything. It was that I think the others would have been just as welcome or free to do the same as Paul if they wanted to, but they didn't, and Paul did. So I don't know. What's my favorite song performed on the rooftop? It's the first time they start and they just do "Get Back" the first time. Boom, right? The introduction. That's far and away my favorite. And after that, I think my favorite is "Don't Let Me Down." After "Get Back" on the rooftop. Okay, here's hi Lila. Here's some information about the bass disappearing, the Lost Bass Project. I think I'd heard that something. Now that, it's funny. You hear people say something, then you think I think I remember hearing something about that. Hi Wes. I have no intention whatsoever of seeing Indiana Jones. None at all. No, I heard a lot of horrible things about it, and I have no interest in Indiana Jones anyway, even if it wasn't a horrible review all around. But no interest. The last one I saw was one when he was in a refrigerator or something. I forget which one that one was, and that's enough for me. I went to the theater for that, and that was it. The delay in the announcement likely had something to do with Ringo Starr's upcoming EP. Ringo. I don't think they're afraid of Ringo. Ringo's EP. But I don't. They don't want to kind of collide or anything. But we got to get some John Lennon announcement here too. Usually they do something for John's birthday. Hopefully there's something on John's solo project coming out soon. And hopefully we're going to get the archives from Paul started up again. Maybe again at this point it could be next year, but. I like the Rolling Stones, but I'm not interested in their new album. I haven't been interested in their new albums for quite a number of years, although I know that Blue and Lonesome was considered quite a good album. But I'm not really interested in their albums. There you go. Just put this up here. I hope JL Draw did not take my comment as an attack. I just don't want to get my hopes up too high until official news comes out. Okay, there might not be any official news on Let It Be for a bit, although Beatle Fan magazine and I guess online is reporting similar information from ostensibly their own source. So if you subscribe to Beatle Fans, details are in there. There you go. That's pretty cool. It's fair. Hello, Peter Boothroyd. Were the Beatles rich in 1970 when they broke up? I don't think so. Like, what's you have to we have to define what rich means. Rich to one person might not be rich to another person, but I think by the Beatles' own feeling, I don't think they considered themselves rich. At least John didn't, I don't think. I remember him saying that, I think in the David Wig interview. I forget what, it might have been 1969, that one. He did, David Wig interview was 1969 and 1971, and two interviews. And at one point, he said something about we've all got the real. We're not millionaires. We've all got houses and everything. He says, but we're not. They're not rich. That's what John said anyway. Okay, hello, hey Chris, what's going on, Chris? Right? Chris says Indiana Jones 5 was actually better than the one you saw, Joe, which was the worst one. Okay, I did hear some people say they liked the newest one, but I'm just not interested anymore. You know, I was very privileged to see the first Raiders of the Lost Ark in the theaters in 1981, and it was a really good time. And I was still a teenager then, 1981, and it was good. And I saw Indiana Jones 2, Temple of Doom, and I saw the one with Sean Connery, but I don't remember that. When I saw the one with Sean Connery, I was not. I was kind of ill, and when you're not feeling well, you don't really pay attention. You're not really into it. Why Lennon and McCartney? Why not McCartney and Lennon? Well, I think they they were going to do McCartney and Lennon, and in the beginning, some of the tracks, right, they went out originally as McCartney and Lennon. And Paul always says John got his way in the end, as usual, and stuff like that. You know, it sounds good, Lennon and McCartney, but I don't know if it sounds good. Lennon and McCartney rolls off the tongue better, just because we've heard it that way for 60 years plus or whatever. I don't know if that's the reason why it sounds good. It's very familiar, but it's also alphabetical, L and M. So. Will I be reviewing the Joan Jett album, the new Joan Jett album, at some point? As far as I'm glad you asked, Wes. As far as I'm concerned, there is no new Joan Jett album, and the reason I say that is because so far there's no physical media. There's no vinyl, there is no CD, there is no cassette. It is just available as files in the clouds or whatever. And to me, an album is not an album unless you have an actual. I'm looking for something to hold up here, and I don't have a CD handy. Unless you have a physical copy. When the Joan Jett album comes out as an album, if it ever does, and not just files or clouds or downloads or uploads or sideways loads or whatever they are, then I will do a review. I did hear some of the songs. I heard all of them really. I mean, I played them online, but that's not an album. So yeah, and I'm hoping that the Joan Jett album comes out, sometime on physical media, maybe a record store day. No, knowing the way she does things, her manager and her, they could do that. Joan Jett has been pretty good over the years with very tantalizing record store day releases for the most part. Well, from what I understand, I mean, I can't remember, but they say that the one with Sean Connery had a very satisfying conclusion. The third one, it should have ended with a trilogy, people say, right? The third Indiana Jones movie. Hello, Caitlin. Caitlin says the new Indiana Jones movie wasn't horrible, except for the ending. The fridge one is actually the original ending to Back to the Future. Okay. I know you're a Back to the Future aficionado. Hello to Patrick Sweden. Martin McGrath feels that the McCartney Lennon credit, that way, McCartney Lennon, is a disgrace and should be totally ignored. I believe that John Lennon did get credits for Blackbird, yes. And I believe that McCartney got credit for Julia. So there you go. Oh, I have a thought on that. What? Who? I don't know what that is. Yeah, McCartney Lennon sounds more of a mouthful. It's always better to have the shortest syllable name go first. Yeah, Paul McCartney has worried about a lot of things as technology, you know, I don't know if I want to say progresses or degresses, because it gets worse, devolves, or whatever. But yeah, that's one of the things he said. He just it just said Lennon on it, but he's talking about, I think, like when you see something on a computer screen, right? And it says, like, maybe like "Hey Jude" or whatever it was by Lennon and McCartney, and all you see at the edge of the screen is Lennon, and McCartney's cut off. You know, so, but there's good, but even if he fixes things up after Paul dies, there can be other kinds of new technology that might eliminate his name somehow too. You can't, it's hard to be on top of everything, and make sure you have everything covered and every possible uh, new bit of software. Okay. The Victorian Mr. Kite poster. No, no, there's not, and there's not enough room here for sure. But I'm no, I'm starting to notice that what I might want to do, something I just noticed here, up along here on the top here, I should put posters and things over here. I have some here off the screen that you can't see off the screen, but I should put some up there. Some things. Let's see. What did Woodland write? I missed something. Okay. You can buy to order CDR physical media of these as well from Nugs, but none will likely ever be wide physical media releases. I want the real McCoy by the artist. That's how I feel about it. You know that. I'm a physical media guy, and I want it the right way, and I think it'll happen. You heard it here first, folks. I'm willing to put my reputation on such as it is on the line and say that I think the Joan Jett album, which I forget the name of it already. Geez, Mindsets. Okay, doing the best I can. Mindsets, the Joan Jett album, is going to eventually be on a physical media, official physical media. Let's see. Uh, doesn't the sun bleach your stuff in the window? No, it doesn't because, well, first of all, the blinds are always closed, and the second thing is, as you notice here, the back is to it. The front is not exposed to the sun. It's the back. Yeah, well, why is, I think you mean to say McCartney, not McCarthy. Why is McCartney complaining about his name not being shown in a YouTube video when more people know who he is and he is still out selling out shows? The only thing I can say to that is Paul is the one, to me, more insecure about his legacy and his name than other people are. A lot of times people will say things like, "Well, Paul McCartney has nothing to prove. He's got nothing to prove. He's done it all." I agree. You agree. The only one who seems to not really feel that way is Paul himself. Paul seems a little bit concerned about it. Oh yeah, well this is, yeah, of course, this wall next to me. No, yeah, you're right. 11 by 17-inch posters or lobby cards or things like that. Well, albums fit up there. I have albums up there now, record albums. Um, are you talking when you say not to mention warping the records? I'm not stupid. I don't have any records up there. There are no records up here. You don't even realize the rarities poster that you see is really thick cardboard. It's mount a thick white backing board, and these other things here are like on cardboard. And this is a frame, this is a picture frame. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Here's a thought from Martin. I'll just put that public. I've only heard a very little bit of Danny Harrison stuff, and I was not impressed. So I'm not interested. Not yet, anyway. Do you think the Stowe School, right, Beatles concert should get the Peter Jackson treatment and be given a physical release? I would like it. I don't know how much he can improve it. It's still remains to be heard how much of this stuff that we think gets like the mal treatment or the AI treatment or whatever can get improved. I know that there was a version of the Stowe concert that was supposedly fixed up by AI. Somebody did it. I'm not professionally. Not professionally, I'm not talking about officially, and I'm not talking about professionally. I guess I'm talking about somebody, you know, AI'd it and put it on a bootleg or something, and it wasn't much better the AI version than the regular version. So I see you. I see you. Woodland insists that the record company and the music artist consider a digital only album an official real album release. I don't care. I don't. I'm the one that's going to buy or not. I'm the one that's going to consider it or not. I don't care what they consider it. I don't consider it an album. First of all, an album is a collection of songs, and by that, I don't have a CD handy. A CD, people don't. Sometimes people don't call CDs albums because they're not vinyl. Well, actually, CDs are also albums because they're a collection of songs, really. Now, physical collection of songs. An album has to be a physical thing. A photo album, and I believe album first came from the old 78 RPM records. If you ever see them, they used to come out like in a book with pages, and it was like an album, like a photo album or a wedding album. Had pages of each record was put in there. That several 78 shellac records. So yeah. Anyway, we're spending too much time on that. I really shouldn't. Just my opinion. You know, ever consider putting posters on the ceiling? What's funny about that is no, I have never considered putting posters on the ceiling, but because of the way I have this camera set up, it would help this. A lot of people, I think it was you, Woodland, people were complaining about the fact that, there's too much ceiling in the picture, here. You got to deal with it. I'm sorry. If you like, you can just, turn off the photo image, picture image. But there you go. You went to a thrift store, Pirate Gamer Boy, a couple of days ago. They had some 60s Beatles US Capitol albums, and they were in terrible condition for $24 each. People will do that. They see the word Beatles and they go nuts. And no, no, that's not hmm, you know. No, of course. No, I understand that LPs records will get warped by the sun, but I don't have any records close to the sun. The records are all over here, and the blinds here are always closed. Anyway, as far as do you suit a tie dye? I don't know if you're asking if about tie like a tie dye shirt, but when I was thinner than I am now, I mean I don't know if I have any existing photos. I know I have a video of me in one, but not a photo. I had a really nice couple of tie dyed shirts. I absolutely I've worn them in my time. I've never heard of this. In England, they have traditional baked bean breakfasts. I never heard of that. Exactly, pirate. Exactly. Do I like the Fifth Dimension songs? Um, I could go down the list. I love Aquarius. Aquarius is one of my favorite songs of all time. Up and Away. Uh, One Less Bell to Answer. Wedding Bell Blues. There's a song called "Go Where You Want to Go." What do I know, though, Nicholas? I only like the Beatles. I only know the Beatles and like the Beatles. That's it. But there might be some others too. Oh, the Fifth Dimension did a really interesting version of the song "Love Hangover" that Diana Ross had a big hit with. I remember that's one of the most amazing stories with records of my personal life. I'll never forget. Like I was reading something, and they said that the Fifth Dimension did a version of the song "Love Hangover," the Diana Ross hit. And I said, "Wow, I'd like to hear that." I said, "I've never heard that before. That's weird. I never knew they did that." I go to my record store and I look through the 45 bin, and there it is on a 45. Fifth Dimension, Love Hangover. Never knew it existed. Never saw it before. I've never seen it since. And this was when I first started making videos, like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, whatever. Something like that. It's pretty amazing, really, when you think about it. Yeah, Caitlin says the reel-to-reel recorder was too far from the vocal PA. That even if you had Mal, the Mal software or whatever, fix it, it wouldn't be great. And that's what I'm thinking. How much can you get out of nothing? If there's nothing there to begin, if there's no vocal to begin with, I don't know. You know, no real vocal to begin with. Hello, Chris. Yes, I saw "Give My Regards to Broad Street" in the theaters in October of '84. Absolutely. During that period of my life, I was going through some some personal stuff, and I was kind of like out of it and depressed. And the movie was is kind of like glum and depressing too. So that's all I remember about it. I remember there weren't many people in the theater. I saw it at night. Probably the premiere night or one of the premiere nights. And I never, everybody that talks about seeing "Give My Regards to Broad Street" in the theater says the same thing. There was nobody in the theater. And yeah, but it was weird because, as I say, I was in like a kind of down mood in those days. I had some issues going on at that time. And that movie just accentuated them. You know, but still, having said that, I would love for there to be a "Give My Regards to Broad Street" re-release of the movie. I would like it to come out on Blu-ray. I like it to come out with some extras. I would like to see Paul one day after he does the Wings albums for the archives. London Town and Back to the Egg. Anybody, Paul? You hear me? I want Back to the Egg. After that, I would like to see Broad Street come out on the archive series. It's not very good, but I still want it. I don't know what's going on. What's the matter, Scarred God? I feel bad for you. I don't know why I don't see the question. I see a couple of comments by you, but I haven't seen a question. Sorry, I haven't seen it. This is a good time to point out to people too. I'm not saying that Scarred God is saying anything like this or that Scarred God is thinking anything like this, but this happens. Sometimes I don't see comments. I mean, I had a guy that like one time he was a really nice guy. He was on for a couple of months. He was on every chat. And then one day he goes, "Well, you just lost a subscriber. If I'm one of your best fans, and you don't even say hello." And I said, I didn't, I didn't. Your comments didn't come up. I don't know. For some reason, that comment came up, but the other ones hadn't. I hadn't seen them. It's the live streams are fun, but there's challenges with live streams. Recent record store video was a funny one. I'm glad. I'm really running out of material now. Luckily, a lot of people like that one guy who comes in to the record store, and he always has like some really like poor material to sell the store owner, and they have an exchange a lot of times, and Joe has a little fun with him. That particular guy, I have two videos of him, or like I have two segments waiting. I have two more videos worth of stuff with him, but and Don is always. Don is always around. There's always Don to talk to, but I'm running out of things to do there at the store, to tell you the truth. But we'll see. Yeah, I thought you would feel the same way about that, George. About a CD of music being an album. Yeah. And Woodland Goblin says they are just called digital albums. I told you, Woodland. I don't know why you belabor things. I think maybe he tries to get the vein to throb in my head. I think that's what he's trying to do. I'm sorry. We have to agree to disagree on this one. That's all. No, I agree with you. I can't deny the fact that the artist considers digital album, whatever they want to call it. I don't. And I'm the one that's buying, and I'm the one that's collecting it or listening to it or not, or reviewing it or not. Woodland did start the ceiling thing here. Now you can't unsee it. Well, the thing is, actually, the reason is, I got stuff here, like on the sides here, that kind of need to be cleaned up. The day may come where I put this down more, but well, if this guy's really Bela, and that's how you pronounce it, Bela Lugosi, not Bella, like ringing the bell, Bela. I'm a big fan of Lugosi. Anyway, do you think that Yoko or Sean or whoever will ever start releasing some of the unreleased John Lennon material that they're sitting on? I've heard they have over 300 hours unreleased. I don't know how many hours they have, but I'm sure that there's a lot. They did a lot of stuff. First of all, on camera, they did a lot of filming of a lot of things, and there's still more stuff to be released. Audio wise, I don't know about that. Yoko, I got to give Yoko nothing but fair credit for that. She's done a fantastic job over the past, I don't know, 35 years or whatever it is now, almost close to 40, maybe. Maybe it is 40, of putting out a lot of John Lennon stuff. So, okay, here's a point from JL Draw about digital only albums. Just sometimes that's just a way to extend the copyright. I must say, I still do tape some things on the back. I've been using tape on the backs of posters, not on the front, but on the back, since I was a teenager. Okay, and that's a long time ago. I use tape that's easily removable, and I turn it like a circle. You all know how you do it. You take it like this here. Take a piece of tape. You know what I'm going to do. I don't really have to demonstrate. I'm sure a lot of you know. You circle it up like that. You put it on the back of the poster and press, and I do that, and never had a problem with any posters personally over the decades. Okay, what have I been watching lately? Okay, lately I just watched an episode of The Waltons. Okay, ha ha ha, and I also I'm getting into the show Bonanza, the Western show. Believe it or not, I've never watched Bonanza, and now I'm actually getting into it. So that's my latest thing that I'm watching. Badfinger, I like Badfinger, but again, I only like a handful of songs. But there you go. Yeah, the Lost Lennon tapes. That's 1988. Really, that's a long time. Yeah, we heard a lot of that stuff already. It's very true. And there isn't a lot in terms of wholly unheard material. They're alternate versions of what was on Lost Lennon tapes and or released Lennon solo albums. Well, there's always studio stuff. I mean, up on these shelves here, I've got a box set of Walls and Bridges stuff that I hope comes out legitimately. Come on, Sean, let's go. Okay, there you go. Maybe. Why is it? Why is it Beatles versus Stones and not Beatles versus Seekers? Well, the Stones are the other biggest, '60s competition, if you will. You know, adversaries, rivals of the Beatles. Although that was all mostly the marketing and the media that did that. It wasn't really the Beatles or Stones themselves. Oh, this is interesting. Sean still goes through the Dakota archives, though, as he found the demos of Yellow Submarine among his father's effects a few years back, which were hitherto unknown and uncatalogued by anyone. There you go. So you don't know. You don't know. Do I like the way Cher looked in the '70s better than the way she looked in the '80s? I think she looked better in the '80s, personally. Ugh. If I was going to a fancy dress party, would you go as a walrus or in a pepper suit? Or the mop top gray or black suit or Lennon all white suit? Oh man, that's a good question. I probably would like to go for the pepper, I guess. Why not? Yeah, it would be interesting to see Paul do a commentary for a Broad Street Blu-ray. Yeah, I would like that as well. It's a good idea. When I see him for dinner tonight, I'll ask him. But I would like that. Have you seen Only Murders in the Building? Great fun show. Never heard of that. Sorry to hear that, Joe. No one should watch Broad Street whilst going through any pain in their lives. Yes, I like the Wanderlust version on Broad Street, and I like that whole medley that he does early in the film. I like the whole thing. Hello, Penny Lane. You're in my ears and in my eyes as well. And yeah, Back to the Egg is getting Back to the Egg is getting a little more attention now than it used to get. Hello to Danny. I'm even going to highlight it. Hello, Danny Ambrosi. Uh, Hi, Adam. Did you have any songs by the Beatles or so that you didn't like for a very long time and changed? I never liked Faster by George for over 10 years. This year I just started to like it. Well, yeah, I'm sure there's songs like that. I was never a big fan of the Beatles song, It's All Too Much. When people ask me what's the worst Beatles song, I used to say that one. And now I've come to like It's All Too Much. As far as solo, I'm sure there are a bunch. But yet, boy, I can't grab one off my head without taking too long and letting too many questions go by, and not, and fall too far behind here. I'm already a little far behind. I think I'm 10 minutes behind actually. Wow. Sorry, folks. I hate when people do this, and it depends on how many questions you get. Um, do you think Yoko still gets the blame for the Beatles breaking up? I think by people who suffer from Yoko derangement syndrome, of which there are many, and who just hear things, buzzwords and buzz phrases, and they don't know anything. Are there any movies you are looking forward to? Yes, I am looking forward on October 1st to the original Exorcist being shown again. No, I know that's not fair. That's not what you're asking about. Um, I can't think of any really. The Exorcist Believer. There's the Exorcist sequel that's coming out maybe, but Uh, I'm just skipping. I see. I'm going to try to catch up best I can. I know, folks, it's tough. I'm sorry, folks. Just give me a. Yes, I have a bobblehead of Shemp right here. It's Shemp Howard of the Three Stooges, a bobblehead. I'm reading some By the way, if I don't highlight your comments, I'm still reading them. Just that I can't. I'm not going to answer all of them because not this. Some of them are statements or compliments or. Uh, okay. Sorry, folks. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I say I'm sorry because there's a delay and nobody wants to just wait and wait. But okay. Do you think Paul should get a haircut? Why does he love having that mullet in his old years? Maybe it's just me, but I like mullets. I've always liked mullets, especially on women. Um, on girls, they used to call them the shag haircut. Is the shag a mullet? The same thing. Joan Jett on the cover of the I Love Rock and Roll album. I love that hairdo. The first girl I ever had a serious crush on in school had jet black hair, and it was a mullet. It looked freaking great. The way Jane Fonda looks in that movie Clute, she's got a mullet. At least I think that's a mullet. So I have no problems. Up, Woodland is there to defend Paul. Paul's haircut is not a mullet. That's not what a mullet is, dude. Okay. Henry. 99. Don't forget, YouTube takes 30%. I'm just saying. Thank you, Henry. That's very nice of you, Adam. That's very nice. No, but I know how difficult it is. Sometimes when I go into somebody's live stream, I hate when I ask a question or leave a comment and they already got like 72 other comments ahead of me to go through. You have to really, because when I do these, I've always tried to move quickly. But when you get like right now, we've had like up to 90 people here. I'm noticing at one point. And when you have 90 people, I know not everybody comments, most people don't, but a lot of people do send a lot of comments. Yes, I like that song called "One of the Boys." It's one of my favorite John Lennon uh, home recordings that he did. Hey, this is Mike. I remember Mike from the record store videos. He's in some of them. In case you miss him, I'm going to give you a little shot of him right now. You'll see him photo bombing. I can't stand that he photo bombed this thing, but I'm going to show you a little clip of him photo bombing something here. Don't go anywhere, Mike. I just want to comment for a minute when I come back here. Here you go. This is a famous clip that I use, and you'll see him showing an album in the background.
Who put this on? It's just a random selection of notes in no particular order. For fuck's sake.
There it is. Yeah. So that's. Oh, okay. Thank you, Caitlin. By the way, the shag is not the same as the mullet. And to that, she's got four laugh signs. So I'm an idiot. But the thing is, thank you. Okay. I like the shag. I don't like the mullet. Okay. Gotcha. But anyway, yeah, Mikey Tats, if you're still here, the whole thing is that I heard you were at the record store on Monday. Usually I'd be there on Mondays. I'm sorry I didn't see you. I hope you'll come by again. It's really not the same without you. I hope you'll stop by more often. So, anyway, Are there any particular pieces of Beatles memorabilia that you have always wanted but you don't have? Yeah, about 100,000 items. Sure. I can't even begin. There's so many of them. But over the years, I'll get as many as I can. And there you go. Blood Vessel says all the other record stores that are within 40 miles of Infinity are not even close as to being as entertaining as Infinity. That's true. And, this is the thing. When they say all things must pass, or George, when they say, when George Harrison said all things must pass, uh, yeah, I have to say that eventually the record store videos are going to stop because I'm going to move. And when I move out of town or whatnot, I'm not going to be able to make record store videos at Infinity anymore. However, I plan to move within 4 or 5 hours of New York. So occasionally I'll drive back to see family and friends, and I will stay at a hotel, and I will be in town, and then I will try to get record store footage that weekend. If I spend a couple of days that weekend, I will get footage. So there'll probably be more Infinity records as long as I travel back and forth to the store on vacations and things. Only the footage may come along instead of it coming along once or twice a month. It may be every 4 or 5 months you get a record store video, something like that. Ah, there you go, Richard. Bravo, bravo. The shag for the win. I like that. Peter Boothroyd, again, bless you, sir. Again, I feel terrible because, or should I say, every time Peter Boothroyd gives me, some help here, I always feel like it's always him. It's always him or Henry or, there's I know one or two other people. I'm not going to embarrass them or name them, but they know who they are. And, I appreciate it very much, as always. There you go. Mikey Tats is the best. See that? Yeah, I always hear. I never heard of that before with that video with the video guy, a Geordie accent in a video. I never heard of that before that video. Yes, I did buy the George Harrison Uber box. I didn't spend $1,000 on it. I got it cheaper. I got a deal on it. And I didn't pay for it all in one lump. I paid for it in installments. But I do have it. Do I listen to it? No, not at all. I didn't buy it to listen to it. I bought it to have it as a collectible, and I'm not ashamed of it at all. You know, bravo for me. I'm happy, and I occasionally look at all the extras that it came with, and it's also, although I never really buy things just as an investment, but I, a little bit of that is investment for that. Well, the value for this may go down. They're probably stuck with a bunch for it. They're trying to give away for $50 or something. But anyway, when it comes to listening, I do like to listen to that mix of the 2021 mix of All Things Must Pass. I like it. I like what was done with that. But when I listen to it, I usually go up here to the CDs. I think that's the CD on the top CD box. So yeah, this is a learning channel too. Absolutely, Danny. And I'm always learning about all kinds of things, including the Beatles. Look, there are 3 girls at Ridgemont that have adopted the Pat Benatar look. Yeah, I remember that line. Uh, okay, Rome loves Dan. Good to hear this. The tip on the Universal Monsters Complete Collection. The tip that the DVDs they may become defective made you purchase the Blu-ray. Good. Good. All right. Who's my favorite person I've met from the Beatle world? One of the first people that popped into my head when you say that is Victor Spinetti, the actor who was in A Hard Day's Night, Help, and also Magical Mystery Tour. What a friendly, great guy. Also, Steve Holly from Wings, formerly of Wings. Patty Boyd was very nice. Klaus Vorman. Klaus Vorman, what a great guy. And I don't want to leave anybody out. There's Lawrence Juber. There's a lot of years there. Mikey, I see you're still picking up some rare pressings, and he says always, haha. Because I haven't seen you pick anything up at the store. See, the thing is, Mike, I don't want to pry into your personal life too much, but I'm seriously wondering what's up with it. Is he still buying records? Does he have? Is he like not buying anymore? Is he selling stuff? What's going on? Oh man, what's Anthony gonna do without you? I know. Poor Anthony. Poor Anthony. Anthony retires. Is gonna retire in a few years, and who knows? Maybe he's looking to move. Maybe he'll move where I am. I don't know. People always say John looked old in 1980, but this pic's from 1980 where he looks his age. Sometimes he looks older. I think that John looked old. You know what I mean? I remember once somebody said, I don't know where I read it. John, at the age of 40, John looked every one of his 40 years. And I do think he looked every one of his 40 years. Had John lived, much as I love John, I got to say, I don't think he would have aged as well as the others. Sorry, Paulina. I didn't notice anything. I'm sorry about that. Uh, so let's please not go there. I'm not going to have any of that kind of stuff on this chat. Not only am I not going to have any, insults towards any groups, but the whole thing about don't say this, don't say that. I don't want either one of them, on here. You know what I mean? I kind of trying to figure this cat out since. Okay, let's continue. Take Auntie with you. Get a house with a garage. See, the thing that I hate about, unfortunately, that I hate about StreamYard as opposed to YouTube Live is on StreamYard you can't just delete comments without blocking the entire person. I like to be able to delete comments here and there. So please, if you can delete your own comments, do it. Okay, I'm always buying records. Been buying records since I've been 12 years old. Just been busy. I'll get back down to the store more often real soon. Sounds good. Summer's over though. But anyway, good. Yeah, well, this of course is morbid, but I'll deal with it. Why not? Who knows? You don't know what would have happened. John could have been hit by a car in 1981 and killed. Who the hell knows? Nobody knows anything. Hey, I think I'm caught up. Am I caught up? Okay. But Sean taking over the Lennon estate and Danny doing the same for George. When the time comes, do you think one of his children will take over the discography? I think that's where it's going to go between the wives or the children. Yeah, obviously. All right, come on, folks. Now I'm caught up to the comments, and there's no more comments for a bit. Did I say hello to Raymond? I don't know. You know, for a long time, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Stevie Nicks' song "Edge of 17" was about John Lennon's death. I didn't know about that. And then later on, I think I heard that it was, and I forgot again about it until you reminded me. Mm-hmm. Do, 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 do. That was a little crackling Rosie. Paulina talks about somebody earlier. I didn't quote it. Had said George looked kind of aged too, and you couldn't blame George for being aged at the end. He was dealing with being assaulted in his own home. I was dealing with cancer. Stuff like that can age you. Yeah, absolutely. Sadly. Well, yeah, there are some pictures of John where he looks better than others near the end of his life. I agree. Just give me a second here. I'm just trying to see if I could put anything up that I missed. Okay, Only Murders in the Building. Great fun show with Steve Martin, etc., etc. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, somebody asked me this 3 times in a row. I don't know if it's the same person or not, but my take on this is I'm a big fan of Freddy Krueger. Did I just say that? I don't like Freddy Krueger. I'm a big fan of Jason. Uh, I'm a big Jason fan. And I love the Friday the 13th series. So I waited for years for them to team him up with Freddy Krueger because I like old horror movies like Frankenstein meets the Wolfman and also King Kong versus Godzilla. So I was excited they were going to do a Freddy versus Jason. Anyway, when I saw the movie, I thought it was so good. These days, I don't think it's great. I think it's just it's good, but not great. But when I first saw it, I thought it was really they did a great job with it. I thought. I didn't. I never saw the Love Show. No, never saw it. Best Universal Mummy film, in my opinion. My favorite is The Mummy's Hand, and I think that Tom Tyler made the best mummy. And after that, out of the Lon Chaney Jr. films, I like The Mummy's Ghost the best. Never seen the movie Dog Soldiers. No, you got me on some of these movies. Who do I think was the best and worst looking Beatle? I don't want to go there. What do I know? I'm a guy, right? No. What do I know? I think all the Beatles were pretty good looking. Overall. I mean, different girls liked different Beatles. I remember my mother's cousins, Carol and Marie, who when I was a child, I'd go to their house and they'd play me the Beatle records, and I usually had Beatle dolls. They went to see the Beatles at Chase Stadium, and they couldn't hear anything. But hold on, I remember Carol's favorite Beatle was George, and Marie's favorite Beatle was Ringo. Because even though Ringo, people joke around Ringo's the worst looking Beatle. He's the ugliest Beatle, all that stuff. You know, he's got a certain charm, and he's got sadness in his eyes. The poor puppy clown. A lot of people found that attractive about Ringo. Paul went to Jimmy Buffett's house last week and sang for him. They knew the end was near. Oh, that's bittersweet. There's this guy around here, Norman the Gnat. I call him Norman the Gnat. And I don't know, there's one gnat in here that I have not been able to get. So listen, Norman, if I get a hold of you, I'm going to clap my hands. Don't go in my water either, whatever you do. The death of Norman the Gnat. They're all movies that I haven't seen. They're asking me tonight. I have not seen any of the Predator films, and that's crazy because I should have at least seen the first one. Yeah, but the thing, do you know how many times? Do you know how many times I walk into the store and I mean, look, I want to make this clear. I don't condone making fun of any groups or anything. Having said that, though, putting that on the side for a minute, just generally speaking, you know how many times I go into the record store and Bazooka Joe makes fun of me? He makes fun of everybody, not just me. But you know, the sticks and stones, the old thing they used to, you just gotta let it roll off, or you gotta, or you get depressed a little bit. Then you go on and say, well, just say, screw you, man. Who the hell are you? Who cares what you think? You know, I'm sorry. But having said that, certain, you know, things shouldn't be tolerated here. Yes, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre from '74. Love that movie. It's a great horror movie. Best and worst looking Beetle girl. Oh, come on, man. Just stop. But no, they don't call me Italian slurs. But I'll tell you this: if they did, I'm not going to shrivel up and die, and I'm not going to all of a sudden not be able to face myself and slip my wrists. Come on. I know this happens a lot in here, and I'm tired of editing things out. I had to edit something out, a recent one. And when you edit a video, like a live stream video, I don't know if you know this, but if you have to edit it, once you edit it, you lose all of the comments on the sides, all your live comments, the peanut gallery as they call it. Those all disappear once you have to chop a section of the video out. Any kind of altering to the video, and you lose all of the live comments, except the ones I'm putting here on the screen, of course. But that's what it used to be, Henry. If somebody called you a slur because of what your nationality was or something, you just sing them back with theirs, and that's it. And move on. But I do like the Saw series. I saw the first Saw movie, and I thought it was very involving and interestingly done. When you hear Saw, you think, "Oh my God, I'm not going to watch that subject matter," but it really was a good story. I thought. Can we agree that Elvis looked better than than all of the Beatles? Well, that's the main thing he had going for him, if anything, and his voice. But I don't know. So it's an hour and 10 minutes I've been on. So let's see. I'm probably going to go soon, but who knows? This is a good time since a lot of you people are here and you might have missed the beginning. Starting after this show, I'm going to be changing the times and days that I do the show, this live catch up with Mayo. I'm going to be doing some Sundays and then some Saturdays. So some of them are going to be Sunday, some of them are going to be Saturday, right where we are. So for the next show I'm going to do like this is going to be Sunday, September the 10th. So Sunday, September 10th is the next show of Catch Up with Mayo. It's going to be early in the morning here. It's going to be 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So write it down. Catch Up with Mayo, 9:30 a.m. Eastern on Sunday, the 10th of September. And that's going to be followed by the one. All right, enough with these comments. Anyway, the 10th and the 17th, two Sundays in a row. I'm going to be doing 9:30 a.m. And then after that, I'm going to be doing a Saturday again at 4 or 4:30. Oh, this is your birthday? Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday. What are you, 20? 21? you know, it's always I always say that. Eh, egad. Oh, egad. 6:30 a.m. my way. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't suit everybody well, but I have to do that there's reasons why this time of year I do that. But I'm gonna rotate it. There's gonna be Saturdays back here 4:30 p.m. Eastern or 4 o'clock or 5. This time. It's not all gonna be Sundays, early Sundays. Oh, I think I saw this, and I gotta say, Henry, if it's the moment that I saw, I loved it. I gotta say, I loved it. I think I saw that moment. Sorry, it was funny. Hi, Dusty. You should really consider having Robert S., Tim Allen, people in your immediate circle be moderators. I don't like other people moderating comments. I really am against that. A lot of people do that. I know there's some people that give everybody a wrench, right? They make everybody in control. I don't understand that. I don't want other people deciding, who's going to be removed, who's going to be blocked, who's going to be. That's my job, you know. But I know sometimes it can get out of control, you know. But and I know you mean well, Dusty. I appreciate that. But you got it. I tell you, I'm my own man, and if you don't believe me, just ask all my coworkers and bosses at the U.S. Post Office when I worked there. I'm my own man. I do what I want. I don't do what you want. I do what I want. Get it? And when I die, at my funeral, they'll play a song that fits me. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. That song fits me perfectly. I did it my way, you know. And yeah, funny. I forget all the words, but I actually looked them up recently. I can't remember them all, but to the song "My Way." And by the way, to the Elvis fans out there, Elvis sings "My Way" very nicely, but I can't. I rather hear Frank Sinatra sing "My Way" because Frank Sinatra's a kind of a more of a guy you can believe that he did things his way, and nobody told him what to do, Frank. But with Elvis, Elvis didn't do anything his way. He did everything the Colonel's way, you know, and well, not everything, but I hear you, Dusty. Dusty, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I have never heard Sid Vicious's "My Way," but I like. What's that line? How does the line go? I like. What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not. Now, too many people out there are like, I don't mean out there in YouTube. I mean, too many people in the world are too busy telling everybody stuff they want to hear, um, making everybody like them, and stuff like that. Nobody likes to be disliked, you know. Um, but you have to, you got to be real. You got to be a real person. You got to be true to yourself. I have to. I can't look in the mirror if I'm like not saying what I feel and stuff. Oh, there's another opinion. There's another opinion, and here's another opinion. There you go. Elvis told Parker off. Yeah, he told Tom Parker off at the end after he'd already did it the Colonel's way with regard to like making the movies and this and that and the other thing. Well, didn't he? He didn't get to appear in the movie A Star Is Born. Elvis didn't he want to be in A Star Is Born, and he couldn't make it. Okay, Sid Vicious version is good in context, but not musically. Oh, is that one? Is that one? No, serious. I like Elvis. I love Elvis, but come on. The biggest problem I have though is when people. This goes for Beatles fans too, not just when they can't ever like criticize their heroes ever. It's like, look, you know, I'm glad he did it. He did it the Colonel's way with that. I mean, his own way. He told the Colonel off with that, but all those movies and things and stuff. He had a contract. I know. He couldn't tour. You know, he couldn't go to England. He didn't tour because of the Colonel. When people ask me if I'm a fan of Janis Joplin, I like her big three songs. I mean, I don't know, not especially. I like her. The usual ones. Piece of My Heart, Down on Me, Me and Bobby McGee. All right, I noticed the comments are tapering off. We still got a lot of people here. Right now we have 82 watching, and we got over 90 before. So I've listened to some early Fleetwood Mac, and I do like some of it. I've heard some of it was good. Well, that's nice. Yeah, that's very nice. Would you eat the Elvis peanut butter and jelly with bacon sandwich? I've never had that before, and I don't know if I would. Uh, am I a fan of Jimi Hendrix? I'm more of a fan of Jimi Hendrix than I am, say, Janis Joplin. But again, I like a lot of Jimi Hendrix songs. I don't have all his work, and of course, they keep putting out more and more of his stuff all the time. Have I ever written a song? Yes, I have. I can't remember. It's when I was younger, so much younger than today. I've written a couple of songs, but silly songs mostly, comedy songs. All right. Did anyone buy the new Fleetwood Mac Rumors live at the forum? No, I didn't even know. I don't know those the Kennedys you name. You can always get the feeling when things are going to wind down a little bit. I think we're getting there. All right, folks, I'm going to. Boy, the time goes fast when you're having a good time. Thank you all for being here. This is always a lot of fun. Once again, I want to remind everybody that I'm going to be doing the next show like this. It's going to be Sunday, September the 10th, and it's going to be early here. It's going to be 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm sorry for those who want to be there, but you know, uh, can't make it. But there'll be 2 Sundays in a row. I'll be doing September 10th, and then I'll be doing September 17th. Both of them about 9:30 a.m. Eastern, give or take. Could be 10 a.m. Could be, but around 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So I hope you'll try to be there. Some of you the most, because I don't know if a lot of people are available at those hours. I know a lot of people from England it should be easier for them because they're ahead of us here. So thanks everybody. Just looking at the list comments. Yep. Okay, everybody. Sorry if I didn't get to everything. Sorry if there was a little bit of misunderstanding in there. I don't want anybody getting upset or offended, and it's hard when you do this thing to try to juggle everything and let people have your say, but don't say anything really dumb or stupid or whatever you want to say. So you get the idea. It's tough. Anyway, see you next time, folks. Thanks for being here, everybody.